got a real friend, you don't need much. Just a place to sit and fish is more than enough. When you got a real pal, there's nothing too tough. Together it is better when you got your real bud. Real bud.
We are on episode 23.
Well, that kind of brings up some interesting.
It's the Jordan episode.
Ooh, the Jordan. He was number 23, wasn't he?
Hey, we could go again for Jordan episode on 45.
Okay. All
Or
right.
45, right?
Yeah, we're rolling to that. We got that big steamroller going on this one.
I think he wore number 12 for one game.
Okay, we already passed that.
So we'll go for this one.
So we're going with 23 for this one, and we will definitely make it to 45 for sure.
Were you a big Jordan fan? I would say growing up, but he was
an amazing athlete. I'm just, we recently, Mariel's and I recently watched the movie Jordan.
Yeah.
And that is a great movie, by the way. If you ever get a chance to take a look at it, please do. But it talked about, his struggles in life and all that kind of stuff, and just what a phenomenal athlete he was.
Yeah.
And how much money he made. What an amazing businessman he is, too.
So were you a big fan of him?
Big fan.
Did you
Big
watch
fan.
a lot of his games?
I did try and watch as many as I could. He was just a superior athlete in every way, and it's just neat to watch someone with those kind of capabilities.
It's fun to watch someone who's the best at anything they do.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of memories watching him. I mean, a few stick out, but he was done playing by the time I was 7 or 8. But I'm glad I got the chance to watch him. I remember watching him against the Jazz. I think it was 1997. He hit that shot at the top of the key to win it, and I remember that one pretty well.
Yeah.
I remember he played for the Wizards to end his career.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember watching with my parents and that intro music they would play, and that old, it seemed so cool at the time, but the animated intro they would do with the Bulls running through Chicago to that music.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I enjoyed that. But are you Team Jordan or Team LeBron?
Ooh,
who do you think's better?
Yikes. That's a tough one. That is a tough one because both of them are superior athletes. I mean, I don't put me on the spot with that one because I couldn't tell. What about you?
I would like to think Jordan's better. I think he did more for the game of basketball. I don't know. At least for shoes, he did a lot more. But I think there wouldn't be a LeBron without a Jordan. I think LeBron's more of a dominant, physical player.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a big body, but Jordan's a better shooter. I think he's more clutch, better dunks. I don't know.
I admire Jordan for his business acumen as well.
Yeah.
His putting that deal together with Nike was just amazing back then because they weren't doing anything like that. They weren't taking a guy just straight out of school and give him some sort of bonus type thing to get him going on that. But he just it all worked out for him.
I thought it was cool that what was it about his shoes where he'd get fined for not wearing white shoes, and he would every game, I think Nike paid his fee because he was wearing red and black and stuff.
Right, his own shoes.
So that was cool.
What was the fine? Do you know what the dollar amount was on it?
It was like 10 or 20,000. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. Maybe it was in today's money.
I thought it was pretty high.
Yeah.
For the time, anyway.
It was more than a mil. More than a penny.
A mil.
Yeah. So started off with that. Also, I want to apologize because I asked you again to take off your vest. And I'm wearing a vest, and I did not realize that I was wearing mine.
See what happens when you get old. People start to pick on you and tell you what to do, and then ignore their own advice. And
you may have heard this. You probably used this a couple times. John, do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're not the one who has to edit the podcast.
Yep.
So once you can edit one.
Okay.
To be fair, you've probably made a couple napkin noises so far.
Okay.
And I did hear you make a mouth noise that it picks up. No, it was kind of a high pitch.
What?
One of those. You don't even realize you do it.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry for being a hypocrite.
All the more reason we need an intern
For what?
to help us do all the editing. Tell the
Can't afford
intern.
that.
Huh?
I just kind of quit trying to get rid of those sounds. So,
Well, I don't think people really care, to be honest. If they do, let us know.
well, you can start being picky once you pay us a monthly fee. If you're getting free content, you can't be picky.
That's true. That's true. That's true. We do have one subscriber to that.
So they can be picky.
Yeah. They can be picky all they want.
Give us all the criticism
That's
they want.
correct.
But until then,
That's correct.
we'll leave it to the random people on YouTube who don't know us who start criticizing our song lyrics and John being a boomer.
Yeah, and I have a feeling they're coming. I can see that headlight.
We're slowly getting more.
Yep.
What's new for your week?
Nothing much. I've just been playing Uber all week long. It's been fun, but we've had my daughter and son-in-law out of town visiting their two sons at TCU, and which left our other grandson Jack in town, and so we had to accommodate him, get him to and from school, and fed and all those kinds of things. It's been a lot of fun.
Does he give you a tip when you drop him off?
No.
Does
Yes. Get out of my life and leave me alone.
Wow. Does he give you a rating at the end of each?
I hope he
Uber,
does.
Like a 5-star, like good conversation, 5 stars, or car smelled like beef jerky, 2 stars.
Yeah, really. I don't think he does the rating.
Okay.
At least he hasn't started yet that I'm aware of.
Well, Mary Alice kind of rates your driving, doesn't she?
All the time.
So what does she give you?
She doesn't rate me anymore, but she just tells me how to drive.
Okay.
Does Janelle tell you how to drive?
No. I think she gets nervous that I'm like looking off somewhere. She'll kind of point things out to me that she doesn't think that I see. And yeah, there was one time I was driving to, it's on her birthday. We were driving to this place called Game Show, I don't know, Showdown or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's on like 103rd and Metcalf, and I was trying to point out where it was we were going because you have to kind of drive past it and then turn in and then turn into the light. And I was looking over, and Janelle gasped, and she let out a curse word. My parents were in the back seat, and I looked up and I slammed on the brakes, and I barely missed a car. So she saved me from at least one accident, but yeah, she was not too thrilled that I made her cuss in front of my parents for the first time. So
Wow.
they thought it was funny.
They did?
When we went into the thing, it's kind of like a Family Feud style game, and it was my parents, me, her, and then her family. And you have to pick a name, but it can't be your own for your name tag, so you have to make something up.
Okay.
So for Janelle, or for my parents chose, the one time I heard my parents cuss growing up, my mom, she was talking about the next door neighbor, one of the next door neighbors that had done something that made her upset.
Is this the one, going back to one of our previous episodes, is this the one that was you've given your neighbor the signature on the wall?
I'm not going to comment which neighbor it was in case they somehow, their families listen in some fashion.
Okay.
But she did something, one of the neighbors, to upset my mother, who's also going to be upset with me now for telling the story. But she was in the basement with my dad, and I heard her from the top of the stairs. And I just gasped because I had cussed before myself, and I heard them doing it for the first time. And she just got quiet, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were up there listening." And so anyway, when we went to the game show thing, my dad, his name on the thing was the next door neighbor's name that my mom was cussing about, because we always kind of called her this name because of the incident. So yeah, Janelle was not happy with that. But Janelle would probably say I'm a good driver. Just a couple times I've I think the time I mentioned on Christmas Eve, I hit the curb because of the rain. I was tired and it was shiny out and I couldn't see and it was late at night and I hit a curb. But I think she would give me an A-. She would say I'm a good driver. Well, Mary, I'll rate you.
Oh, she'd made me a D-.
D-?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For on what grounds?
On grounds of you're not driving the speed limit. You're not going. When I think we talked about this
You
once
begged
before.
for a speeding ticket.
I did. I begged for a speeding ticket. He got the highway patrol guy didn't give me one. He did give me a warning though.
Okay.
Which is proof enough. But not going not going fast enough. And I always, every time she gets in the car, I always have my own personal GPS sitting next to me. Okay, I want you to go up here and I want you to go to 83rd Street and turn right. And then we're going to go over to Lee Boulevard. And then we're going to go south to 435 and then across 4030. And
Well,
if you don't follow that explicitly.
I like to, I'm always the one to drive, but Janelle, there's been some times where she is supposed to give directions, but she kind of forgets and she's on her phone and you should have turned 5 streets ago. So that's always a fun one.
Well, okay.
Yeah, Janelle likes to fall asleep on road trips.
Mary else does too. She'll fall asleep on road trips.
And which is fine because I can play whatever music or whatever I want. She's never picky about what I play, but she will usually fall asleep an hour into a drive back to Omaha or back here and left just talking to myself the rest of the drive.
Wow.
And it's hard to do that.
Well,
I argue with myself a lot.
You've talked to yourself for many, many years now, so you should be pretty good at it.
The voices kind of
I
do
know.
the talking.
You have a bunch of people upstairs that you can chat with.
It is nice.
And you do.
Multiple personalities.
Right.
What'd you say?
Yeah. Who is that? Is that Jimmy? No, Jimmy.
Leave me alone.
No, leave me alone, Sarah.
Anyway, so anything else new for the week? Just driving around playing Uber?
Just driving around playing Uber, which has been a lot of fun. Like I said, it's been really a good time. And that's about it. Nothing major, nothing rocking going on in my week.
There were some times back in the day. See, that's the noise you just did with your mouth. Did you even hear that?
No.
Okay. Well, people listening back will hear it and give us negative stars. There was a time there when you were working where you had some crazy stuff going on with family and events and all that. So I'm sure you're enjoying having no updates now.
I am. Frankly, it's nice to be in that position.
You did say you had a show marathon last night.
Yeah, I did last night.
What'd you watch?
I did a marathon on Suits.
And how late did you watch it?
Oh, I was up till like 1:30 in the morning.
I couldn't believe it when you told me that. Cause I've
Yeah.
never heard, even on fishing trips, when we're like, we're gonna just shut the town down tonight. We're gonna be out till the sun comes up.
Yeah, 8:30. I'm in
9
bed.
o'clock.
9
Local
o'clock.
news isn't even on yet, and you're snoring.
Yeah.
You always told me these trips are crazy. You always go wild on
Yeah.
these trips. I want to go crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was surprised by 1:30.
Yeah. It was a late nighter.
How'd you pull that off? Did you have like a cup of coffee at the end of?
No,
dinner or
I was
something?
I was just watching them, and they just kept rolling on through. And so I thought to myself, well, let's keep going. I can keep going. And
Did you get to the point where Netflix said, "Are you still watching"? Did it give you that screen?
No.
Hmm.
I've had that screen pop up before, but it didn't happen last night. And then finally just got to a point where the eyes got real heavy, and so I thought, well, I better shut this thing down.
Yeah. My week's been exciting.
What's
Nothing new.
your
Nothing
week
crazy.
been?
My dad's birthday was this past week,
Oh, yay.
and Parker's birthday was this past week,
Yay, even more yay.
and FaceTimed her for the first time in a while. I've been a bad uncle.
Well, how was that FaceTime? I'm sure that was pretty interesting.
It was good. She was very smiley. She's
Uh-huh.
very alert. She's 1 now, but she started doing different mouth noises. So I would do it, and she would do it back and laugh or smile, and so that was fun. She's changed a bit, and she starts clapping, and she'll say, I think she'll say "dada" a bit, maybe some mama.
Really?
But She's been fun. Yeah, it's tough. I'm a bad uncle because they're in Vegas, so it's 2 hours back, 2 hours behind us.
2 hours time difference.
And so when we get home, it's 5:30. We have dinner. It's at 6 or 6:30, and then they're not getting home and doing their stuff till like 8 our time. They're not done with dinner until 9 our time. So there's a really small window where we can call on.
Right.
I'm just bad about that sometimes.
How's Quinn?
She wasn't there. She was at dance class.
Ooh.
She's doing hip hop and another kind of dance now. It's always fun when we visit her. She's got the songs playing for the recital that she's dancing to. So there's been a couple. There's a couple older songs that she's danced to that Alyssa and Shane are just shaking their head up by the end because it's just being played nonstop.
I bet.
So I'm looking forward to hearing what the new hip hop song is that she's dancing to.
Ooh, okay.
I'll play that for you.
All right.
Been doing lots of video editing clips for our podcast.
Uh-huh. How's that going?
Good. Getting faster at it, so that's nice.
What's the biggest edit we have to do?
Well,
notice I said we.
Yeah. We usually have to edit the full podcast first. I don't listen to the entire thing back, but I try to remember like funny or interesting parts that we may have said, which is hard.
Segments.
Which is very rare to find those. We're not very funny.
All right.
So I'll find those and then I'll narrow down the clips to that segment, and then I'll have to edit out the different voice, like the different pauses and stuff, so that it's more concise. And then just changing. We shoot this in landscape, so it's wider than it is tall. So it's for YouTube. So then I have to go back and edit it so it's in portrait mode for Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all that. And then...
So our videos on TikTok and Instagram?
And there's YouTube Shorts too. So do that. But then I have to go back and edit, because when I shoot it or edit it in portrait mode, so up and down, it can only show one of us at a time. So I've got to pick which parts it's showing me versus you. And then I have to go back and do all the captioning, which takes the longest, because people watch videos on their phone at work or wherever where they can't have sound on. So it's best to put captions on. So
I didn't know that, but that's
why it
makes sense.
And if we have people who are deaf who are on social media,
pretty much me.
It's close. I have noticed you can hear me really well with the headphones on, but when we talk just in regular conversation, I repeat myself a lot. So it's I mumble, but I know you said you are due for some.
Well, you talk at lower decibels and mumble
more polite. That's a little less polite. Lower decibels sounds more fun.
Yeah, lower decibels.
But yeah, so it's fun talking on here because we can hear each other clearly.
Oh, it is.
It's like a test. It's like a hearing test for you.
Yeah, it is.
Put up your hand when you hear a beep.
I did have a hearing test done not too long ago.
Are you going to go for the hearing aids, or you're not going to?
Yeah, I'm eventually going to have to go for them. No question about it.
Or you can just walk around with these on all the time.
I just, this is probably a better look. But
is that a DJ?
It must be the podcast guys. Real buds.
Is he mixing audio? Where's his turntables?
No, I'm eventually I'm going to have to get there.
Other update was it's been very nice weather in Kansas City the past week or so.
Has been beautiful, actually.
We had a couple 72, 73 degree days. Tomorrow's going to be 75. And then it goes back down to 45, I think, on Wednesday. But Janelle and I went to a patio last night.
Ooh, and how was that?
It was good. Went to Iron Horse in Leawood.
That's nice. That's a nice restaurant.
They've done some nice stuff. They put some new fencing up and some new iron, I guess it's kind of ironic, iron like fences and signage and stuff outside. So it's nice. And
how was the food?
It was good. We went just for happy hour, and they had some nachos, some brisket nachos for $10. And it was one of those things where they brought them out, and I was embarrassed that we ordered it. It's kind of like when you go to Chili's and you get fajitas, and they come out.
They come out,
and everyone's
looking at you, going,
"Who's going to eat
big
dude who ate ordered that?"
So what you're saying is they were big.
It was probably, no joke, probably that tall. They came
Wow.
on a smaller plate for nachos than
Uh-huh.
like sometimes they come in a wider one, but they were stacked pretty high. So did some damage to those. Not good for the diet,
No.
and just enjoyed the patio weather. It got
Good.
chilly, but one of the family next to us, it was a mom and dad and a year and a half year old kid, and she asked if they could bring a heater over. There was these space heaters, and the one lady went to start it, and the lady sitting down who requested it said, "Oh, do you see the fire?" And the waitress said, "Yeah, I do." And she looked down and she's like, "Oh, you were talking to your son. You're So we were all out laughing because she was talking baby talk, and she thought she was talking to her.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a good night for it. Patio season's my favorite season. I like going now and early summer before it gets too crazy hot.
Yeah,
don't
I
wanna
can
be
see that. I can see
sweating
that.
sitting
It
there.
does. It gets very humid here, and yeah, it's not very pleasant to be out on a patio, especially in August.
Yeah. So got to get it in now. I mean, it's early for patio season.
It is. It seems a little bit. It's only February, so
I feel like a lot of St. Patrick's Days you can have outside, but it's usually not until April or May when you can start doing it regularly.
right.
So enjoyed that, but yeah, that's my my weekly update.
Good.
Do you want to go on to our words of the week?
We can do. Let's see here.
I can start with my millennial word of the week if you'd like.
Wow. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, we can do that. Words of the week.
Want to go first or me?
Go ahead.
My millennial word of the week is cap.
Cap.
Yeah. Want to use it in a sentence?
Yes.
That's cap, bro.
That's cap, bro.
Let's say.
Oh, that's a real good clue. Thanks.
Yeah, I ate that whole plate of nachos, no cap.
Ooh. I'm still not getting it.
How much did you make last year? I made $20,000.
Okay, so that's your.
That's cap. That's not good. You're gonna get confused with that example.
Well, I'm thinking cap in kind of a financial term.
It's not.
You
Let's
know, like
say
a cap, no cap kind of trade or deal or
No.
something like that.
I could eat the spiciest wings on this menu. That's cap, bro.
Good luck on that one.
I could. Yeah, one time I drove my car 120 miles per hour, no cap.
Limit, top of the limit. Top
No,
of the,
it just means like no lie.
No lie.
Capping would be lying.
well, okay.
I'm going to reiterate that I do not use these words in sentences. This is kind of almost more Gen Z, but yeah, it'd be like, I don't know. I built this house with my own two hands, no cap.
Okay.
I'm not even lying.
I understand.
And if
I
someone
get
challenges
it
you,
there.
you'd say cap. That's cap. I feel so stupid saying these things because I don't actually use them.
Okay.
But anyway, what's your word of the week?
My word of the week is actually two. It's hacked off. HACKED. Hacked off.
When I first cut my hair, I got it hacked off.
No.
Would it be like a serial killer? He was an axe murderer. The victims were hacked off.
No.
If something is, I'm trying to make this look like a Burberry, but it's a knockoff. It's not a name brand. It's hacked off.
No.
I don't know.
Taylor, your driving has really hacked me off.
Hacked me off.
Hacked.
So you're
Yeah.
just upset. Hacked off is.
Upset and angry.
Hmm.
So it's an angry kind of thing.
I'm really hacked off.
I'm
right
really hacked off at you.
now. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll start
So
using that one.
Okay, it is a good word. It's a good word.
Next thing we're going to talk about, I've had it on, when I think of random things again, we kind of put them on our list of topics to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had one sitting for a while before you kind of came up with your idea of one that you wanted to give. So I had said, what are some things that when you were a kid thought made someone seem rich?
The kids are the parents.
I think both. I guess
Oh,
the
both?
family just seemed kind of rich. So like
Okay.
one that I thought of was like kids who had in-ground pools.
Ooh, that is.
Or really
that
any
would-
pool for that matter.
Mhm.
They always kind of seemed like they were rich.
Yep.
I guess in-ground pools still seem kind of fancy. So
That is a fancy one for. And I'm thinking back in my childhood and growing up and this, that, and the other, and it was primarily in the 50s and 60s. And 50s and 60s, you didn't have those things. You didn't have those things at all. But yeah, I can see that. I can see someone having a pool would give you an indication that they were rich.
what was one that you had? Like would
Oh,
central air conditioning be one that was?
central air conditioning was a biggie because most people had. Let's see, we moved to our house on 58th, and when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, and we did not have AC in the house at all. And finally, after about 3 or 4 years, my dad was able to get window units. But we only had one for the downstairs, and we only had one for the upstairs. So, and it was never even, it was cool, never evenly cooled the house. But it was just one of those things. You just didn't have it.
And now window units are someone who would not be as well off.
Exactly right.
Which I cannot say is true because this past summer, I mean, I'm not well off, but we have central air. And this past summer for like 4 days, Janelle was out of town, and randomly the day she left, the air went out. And it was probably one of the hottest weeks of the year, it seemed like.
It was a very, very, very hot summer. That was last year.
But you let me use your window unit that you had.
Right.
You hadn't used it for a while, but I put it in our bedroom, and it did wonders.
Good.
I cranked that thing down to slow as it would go, and
it worked, didn't it?
Felt wonderful.
Yeah.
So I think I might invest in one just to keep in our bedroom for the summer.
Well, just keep the one you got for a while.
Well,
I'm not using it. I haven't used it in years. So.
I'll appreciate it, but it was a lifesaver that week. I was just sweating nonstop until you give me that. So,
but going back to the things that we thought people were really wealthy is in the kids' realm. Any kid that rode up with a Schwinn bicycle.
That was the brand.
Was the brand, and he would be the rich kid. Wasn't a Western Flyer.
Mongoose, was that around?
No, I don't know if it was or not. No, definitely not around then. But some of the other brand names, Sears had their own bicycles, that sort of thing. But anybody that had a Schwinn bicycle would be, in my opinion, would be considered well off, well to do.
I don't know if it was as well off as it was just like the cool kids, but kids who had pegs on their bicycles, those were the cool kids.
Pegs.
Did you ever have those?
What's that?
They were the metal pieces sticking out of the like where the wheel attaches to the frame of the bike, where those bolts are. It would have like two pieces of metal on either side. Sometimes it'd be both on one side for kids who wanted to grind on things on their BMX bike. Sometimes they'd be just in the front, just in the back. Usually if they were just in the back, it was for kids to stand on so they could have their hands on your shoulders while you biked. Maybe it's just because I grew up in just a not nice area, and I get it. The hoodlums would just ride around front and back.
The only thing I remember is when I was a kid and my bicycle was we would take a clothespin.
Oh, no. Trading card?
And then it wasn't a trading card, it was a playing card, like an ace of diamonds or something, and clip it on and attach it to the back wheel and listen to it click, 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 click all the way down the street. I thought we were really cool doing that.
That's how you attracted Mary Alice?
No, I don't think so.
Nice Schwinn, mister.
No.
Hop on. Do you have a bell on your bike, John?
Nice Schwinn, mister.
Is that a basket with the little frillies on the handlebars?
Flowers. Yeah. Had all that stuff.
Get your flower power stickers on. Do you have a custom plate on the back of yours? They sold those?
Huh?
Do you have a custom plate on the back of yours?
No, I never had a custom plate.
Little Missouri just said like "See ya" on the back.
No, we didn't even have. We didn't have to. This was prior to even getting bicycles or licensed. Never needed to. Didn't have to.
Did you have like a sticker that said like "My other vehicle's a spaceship"? Something stupid like that.
My first bicycle was one that I had a neighbor that used to make things, and he made this bicycle from scratch. He built the frame.
Cap. No cap.
No cap. No cap on my bike.
Close.
But in any event, he made it for us, and that's the one I used throughout grade school and all of high school.
Speaking of plates, I'm getting a new plate in the mail this week.
What kind of plate?
Just a license plate.
Oh, did you get one of those neat little kind of sayings or anything like that?
I wanted to just because I like the custom plate design of Kansas better than the regular one.
Uh-huh.
So I was trying to think of what I would get. But it's just like a tattoo. There's nothing that I would want to put on my personal plate that would be like clever. Because you see some that are like yesterday we drove by one that said BYTME, bite me. Like imagine being on a first date and like, hey, how about I drive to the next spot?
All right.
Which one's yours? It's the Mitsubishi over there with the bite me plate.
Just read the plate, baby. Read the plate.
Hop in.
Yeah.
Is that an open container? So yeah, there's nothing that I would want on my car, like a tattoo, like the rest of your life. But I mean, I guess you can change your car one. You probably do something like Iowa State related, like State Fan, or like even then I'm like, that just seems kind of weird. So yeah, I just got, I think they used to have like royal blue letters on the Kansas plates, and they were embossed. And for whatever reason, they got rid of those. Now they're just like digitally printed on. And they went from 6 digits to 7, which looks kind of weird, but used to be like 3 letters or 3 numbers and 3 letters. And now it's like 4 numbers and 3 letters without any spaces. So looks strange, but have one of those coming in the mail. Did see that they're going to start next year letting you have Chiefs, Sporting KC, and Royals plates in Kansas.
Ooh, that's nice.
Not even in Missouri.
They're pretty neat, yeah.
And it's like Sedgwick County Zoo got approved, but it's only for Kansas. So I don't think they have custom Chiefs plates in Missouri, which is kind of ironic.
They don't? I don't know.
I've never seen one.
I don't know. I haven't seen one either.
I've never seen any custom plates in Missouri at all, really, besides like...
They have a lot of them.
Well, there's like the Centennial red, white, and blue plates, and then they have the one that you have.
Uh-huh.
But there's not any like sporting team custom plates.
No, they don't have... I've never seen any sporting team ones. Just the license plate frame will do that, but not the plate itself.
What are your thoughts on bumper stickers on cars?
I hate them.
If you had to get one, what would it be?
I would never get one.
Would it be...
Ever get one at all.
I think you should get one of you and Mary Alice with like the T-Rex, like the stick figures with like the T-Rex chasing them.
No, absolutely not. I sometimes I pull up behind these cars and there's nothing but stickers plastered across the whole back window of where these people have been and what they've done. I bark for, charity and whatever.
I bark for charity.
I bark, whatever it may be. I love my dogs, those kind of, I really don't want to know all that stuff. It's, I'm happy for you and I'm glad you were able to achieve all of those things, but leave me out of the picture here, bud.
26.2, they did a marathon. Well, those are the ones
exactly right.
0.0 because they're a little quirky and they want to let you know that they're making fun of your running.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I went to the top of Pikes Peak. Who cares?
You can drive that.
Yeah, you drive it. It's.
Or my child's an honor student at Riverbend Elementary.
Right.
Or my dachshund smarter than your honor child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like that one better.
Enough's enough, folks. We don't need to know all those things.
Yeah, the ones that are like, if you see me singing, don't honk. I'm in the middle of my set or something stupid.
Yeah.
Or
I'll honk anyway.
If you're going to ride me,
careful.
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind.
You're going to ride my tail. Yeah, there's some inappropriate ones.
Yes, there are. That's why I intentionally left them out.
Yeah, but there's some mean ones like that. Then there's just the coexist ones. We have some. I grew up in a Christian household, and my parents never wanted to get the Jesus fish because they were always afraid that like if they were to have some sort of incident on the road where they were either speeding or they got frustrated with someone, they didn't want it to be a reflection of their Christian identity, that they were being a bad steward for Christianity, so they didn't put one on their car.
Was that from your mom and dad, or is that from you?
My mom and dad said that because they didn't want to be like,
okay.
My mom was, she was never flipping anybody off, but like if someone were to cut her off and she'd like put her hands up like, what the heck? She didn't want it to be like, oh, the person behind saw that and she had a Jesus sticker and they're not going to be Christians now because
I understand.
Christians
I understand
get
where
mad
you're
when they
coming
drive.
from. Yeah, I understand.
So
that.
I always thought that was kind of funny because I get mad on the road sometimes. I never flash my pistol. I get frustrated with people sometimes when they cut me off or they're driving like idiots.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But
what is the definition for you of sometimes?
Once in a while. Cap. That's cap, Taylor.
Yeah, right. Because every time I talk to you when you're driving, it's like a therapist rage session.
You can't talk. I hear you all the time. What do you think? What are you doing, people?
Oh, I know. I do the same thing.
Pick a lane.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was kind of a...
But it makes me feel better, if it's any consolation.
That's good.
Yeah.
How did we get to... license plates and bicycle plates. Another one that I had was anything more than a 2-car garage made someone seem well off.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 is borderline. A lot of nice houses have just 2.
Right.
Some nice houses have 1.
Right.
Some nice houses have 0-car garage.
That's correct.
They have a carport.
That's correct.
So 3 or more. This morning we got coffee and drove around, Janelle and I. We like to do that, look at all the houses we'll never be able to afford. Saw a couple of 5-car garages.
Ooh.
Which, what do you even do with that?
Yeah.
When
I was growing up, most families had 1 car. And that's all they had.
Really?
You had the mom that stayed at home. And then you had the dad that took the car to work every day and all that kind of stuff. Or if there's any exception to the thing, my mom would drive my dad to work or something like that. But that was very, very rare that ever happened. So we always had 1 car up until I was probably 16 maybe. And then my mom and dad were able to afford a second car.
Seems crazy to not have, 1 per adult, I think is normal now. But we have some neighbors where there's just 2 adults in the house and they have 4 cars.
Yeah.
I get one's like a work truck, one's a personal truck, one's a nicer car, one's a beater. But another one I thought of when we were driving earlier was people with in-ground basketball hoops. There's a particular model. It's got the clear backboard.
Yeah.
Big square one.
Yeah.
Like regulation size with the dark green like bumper around it. With like the thick base to it. Those are with the adjustable up and down. That's a well-off family when they got one of those in their driveway.
Oh, yeah. I would think so. That's the one that had the crank on it, on the side of it, that would adjust the height of the...
I think so, yeah. You can tell it's just like a sturdy one.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the one with the sand or the water base to it.
Yeah.
We had, I think I might have said this before, but growing up, we had an in-ground basketball hoop. I think I mentioned this about...
Oh, you're the rich kid in the block.
No,
Richie.
It wasn't one of the nice clear backboard ones, but it was... My parents put some work into getting it in the ground.
Richie.
And my neighbor across the street, John, he used to dunk on it and hang on the rim, and I would too. He was a much bigger guy than I was back then. And one day my dad, he didn't yell, but he came storming around the house, and he come to find out the hoop had fallen on his car. So
Who admitted that to that? Anyone? Was this weather related? And
I think the base had kind of bent and rusted out, and it fell on his Lexus. So I blame John for it.
Yeah,
and Matt.
oh, of course.
They were a lot bigger than I was then.
But is that really what happened, or was this?
We all would hang on it. We'd lower it down to 5 feet, whatever the lowest was that white people could dunk on, and we would hang on the ram and pretend we were Jordan or someone else who could dunk, not us. And yeah, we would just do that for hours, and then didn't think of the consequences of the base bending and rusting out and
Falling on your dad's Lexus.
falling on the Lexus.
Yeah.
Alyssa, one time she was backing out. She was learning how to drive, and we had a really long driveway. I don't know, probably
Is this at your old house?
old house. Yeah.
Okay.
It was. We had a 1-car garage, and the garage was in the very back of the lot of the house, and it was probably 50, 60 feet long. And there's a railing at the end of the driveway, and she was backing the car up, and he said stop, and she didn't hear stop, so she hit the railing and just kept going for a bit. So we both damaged the Lexus. It went on for another, I don't know, it was probably 375,000 miles in the car before he got rid of it.
Okay, well, good for him.
Did a number on it.
Yeah.
But any other things that made someone seem rich, well off?
Yeah, anybody that had a 2-car or had 2 cars, those were rich people for me.
Color TV, was that one?
Well, color TV didn't come out until, let's see, 50s. I can remember using just black and white until I was probably 10 or 12, maybe.
And you're talking TVs?
Yeah, TVs. And they were the big console
not segregation.
Big console kind type that, it was like a piece of furniture, man. That thing was huge. And
I mean, even until I had a friend who had a big screen. I mean, there were probably a couple, but those things were about as deep as this table.
Oh, yeah.
As wide as our wingspan, and they probably weighed 500 pounds.
Oh, at least. Yeah, at least.
So it's crazy now you can fit one on a wall with like a 2-inch thickness and...
Excuse me.
Bless you.
But it wasn't until I was probably, again, maybe 15, 16 years old that we got our first color TV. And I remember it vividly because it was a Panasonic TV, and my dad didn't want to buy it because it was Japanese. But anyway, we got a great deal on it, and I'm sure it was maybe not the coolest item on the block at the time, but it was pretty neat.
Did they have movies in color at the theater before they had color TVs at home?
Yes.
So I feel like going to the movies was a lot bigger back in the day because there's nothing that could compare to the movies, like the sound,
size, it was all in
and
that,
seeing it in color.
what they call cinema scope,
but
whatever that meant.
Now it's like a lot of people have theaters in their basement, not like theater seating, but they'll have surround sound, and you can be closer to the TV at a better resolution, and that's much. I don't know. You have to pay $8 for a box of hot tamales and $12 for a
but
soda.
it's still that whole experience is still really neat to do.
I still enjoy going.
I do too.
But yeah, it's not as prevalent.
Nope.
Any other things, or you want to move on?
We can move on.
Do you want to go over your? You quite literally had us snagged this week.
I did.
Yeah.
You know what I did?
We both did. Both of our snagged are kind of literal. You could give yours first.
Well, I was tying some flies today, as a matter of fact.
We'll have a video coming out that probably came out by this point.
It probably is hopefully. But anyway, I used some glue that I normally don't use, and I went to finish up the fly, and so I put my finger on where I just put a piece of glue, and come to find out it was super glue. So I super glued my finger to this fly, and when I took it off, pulled it off, it just took a big chunk of skin from my thumb. So anyway, it was very, very humbling
Well,
experience.
there's special glue for like setting glue for the fly. So when you
Right.
finish tying it, you snip off the tag end of the thread, and then you do like a drop of that glue. Is that glue less sticky than super glue is then?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's designed more for threads and things like that. Super glue is designed for like
Anything.
structural steels, things of that nature.
Not
But
skin.
yeah, not skin, and definitely not flies.
I use that super glue that you use sometimes for my skin.
What?
Sometimes in the winter I'll get my like on my thumb or my fingers all split my skin.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
Sure.
I'll close it and then I'll super glue it and then it heals quicker that
Yep.
way.
I've done that before
I'm
too.
not crazy. You give me
Yeah.
a look.
No, I didn't give you that. I was wondering where you were going. With
Yeah, I'll
this
like
thing.
lift my eyes and then I'll keep them from sagging. So I'll glue my,
If I want to stay awake all day for the next 10 days.
which I've heard of people before somehow mixing up glue with contact solution and they, or like eye drops.
Oh, God.
So anyway.
All right. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, it's kind of humiliating though when you glue yourself to something. It seems like you I put down it's kind of like Wile E. Coyote.
Wile E. Coyote. Perfect.
Something he would do.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I've done that a couple times where I go to glue my not hangnail, but the splitting. I'll glue that shut, but then my other finger, my index finger, will stick to it, and you kind of just feel like a moron when you glue yourself.
Like, why am I gluing this cunt? Do I need stitches?
So my snagged was also today before you came over. I was walking to the living room and I had a bowl of salad, which I don't know why it seems relevant, but I was carrying that and I went to sit down and my pinky toe caught on the edge of the couch and it felt like it just bent like a 90-degree angle. And
that hurt.
So when I was going to sit down, I had the bowl in my hand and about threw it. And I thought, if I just would have gone to Taco Bell, I wouldn't have stubbed my toe. What does being healthy suck?
Oh, yeah. Blame it on the healthy stuff. Yeah.
If I had a Crunchwrap Supreme right now, I wouldn't have stubbed my toe.
Some of the greatest pain I've ever been in my life is when I'm flying through the house and stub my toe on something. I mean, it brings tears to your eyes and you start to see black spots in front of you, It just hurts that much.
That kind of goes well with the next thing I was going to bring up. I just had a list of random thoughts for my week.
Ooh.
And one of them was just, as a kid, you used to always get hurt so often.
Okay.
I mean,
I remember that.
Just the amount of times I'd be playing, but I would fall on concrete and the amount of scabs you would get. And I can't tell you the last time I got a scab, but it was like a daily occurrence or weekly occurrence when I was a kid. Just,
sure. You're always falling, hitting your elbow on something.
Skinning your knee.
Yep.
The amount of times I had just blood running down my leg.
Sure.
And
yeah.
So just
falling off your bike as you're going downhill.
Yeah. Falling in general and losing, like not getting the wind knocked out of you. A number of times that happened as a kid where no one prepared me for how little I'd be getting hurt as an adult. Besides just like waking up the wrong way and my neck hurt, or last week, I think I rode the Peloton weird, and like 2 days later I was hanging out with Janelle's family and asked her doctor brother if my kidneys were about to burst or I just had a sore back. So,
or they just shot from the alcohol.
No, not that.
Not yet.
Why would you say that? But yeah, they're just little random aches and pains now, but just when you're a kid and like falling off monkey bars or getting hit in the face with the ball or
monkey bars, God, that's a term I haven't heard in years. That's a good one.
Yeah. Or, I remember one time it seemed like a cartoon the way I got hurt, but was at the pool all day with a friend and didn't bother to put sunscreen on, I guess. And we came back to my parents' house and I was laying on a hammock. And somehow I got off balance and it flipped around and my bare back landed on the support pole underneath the hammock on my sunburned back.
I can feel that one. I can feel that one. Yikes.
But yeah, just, I don't know. I used to bite my nails a lot growing up. I still do sometimes, but I remember basketball one time. One of the worst pains I had was the corner of it got like infected and I had to go to basketball practice and it was like on my shooting hand. I remember I couldn't shoot because it was like infected on the side of my finger, and it's a good way to make you want to quit chewing your nails.
Mm.
What else? Any other injuries you had as a kid growing up?
I had some stitches. I had to have some stitches.
For what?
On my hand.
For what?
I was at home, and our front door had these glass panes in them. And my brother was coming in the door, or I was going out the door. No, I was coming in the house, and my brother was behind the door, and he opened the door, and he saw it was me, and he slammed the door real quick. And so I just reached my arm out like this, and it went right through the window. And so I kind of cut it up pretty good.
Was he grounded for a while?
Oh, yeah. There were some conversations with my older brother for that one. No question about it.
Between your parents or you and him?
Between my parents and him. Because we had to go to the hospital, and it was real deep and had to have stitches. And that was no fun when you were a kid.
A couple episodes ago, I mentioned a friend Austin growing up, and he wore his hat backwards, and his dad had made the comment that your hat's facing the direction your life is going if you keep wearing it like that. So he turned it around. But one time he was riding a snowboard in his yard, and he had a really steep driveway yard thing, and his other friend had fallen, and he tripped and smacked his face on the kid's snowboard, so it knocked his tooth out.
Ooh.
And I think he just got it filled that time. But then about a year later, we were at basketball practice, and we were doing some drill where, I don't know, I had to throw it off the backboard and catch it, and then do like a pump fake, and then he would try to block it. And I inadvertently elbowed him right in the mouth when he went to block it, and it knocked his tooth even further out, and he had to get a rod put in, and he immediately was upset because he wasn't wearing his mouth guard. But anyway, I had to go. He was in way worse shape, but I had to go to the doctor because I thought I saw white in my arm. I thought it was either his tooth or like bone of my own, and so I never got really hurt, but it was just stupid stuff like getting a paper cut between like the webbing of your finger.
Yeah,
that's always
that hurts. That always hurts.
Somehow get like salt in it or something.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Random thoughts. Oh, I had an invention idea yesterday.
What? Ooh.
Actually,
something we could put on the internet and make a lot of money on, build his business, and
probably could
sell it for billions.
And it may already be out there, but I just thought of it when we were on the patio. There's different movies playing on a random TV, and I thought, have you ever used the app Shazam?
No, I have never used it.
Well, I use it probably weekly when I hear a song that I mean, you can do it with Siri now, but she's not as, I don't know. I don't like using it as much. But you just press a button, hold your phone out, and if you're in a restaurant or watching a movie or whatever, it can tell you what song is playing. So anyway, and it'll connect it to your Spotify and you can play it right away, whatever. I think it'd be cool if they had that for movies and TV shows where you could take a video of the TV and it would tell you what movie is playing or show is playing, and then information like who the actors are and all that. And also how much time is left in the movie, like what point it is that you're at. So you can decide, I don't know, if you turn the TV on and, I don't know, you don't know how much is left, you can decide if you want to watch the rest of it or start it over, or give you all the information.
How would you compile all that information?
I have no idea. That's why I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Well, multiple reasons why, but yeah, I think it'd be difficult, but I'm sure with all the AI stuff they have out there now that you can easily
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
do that. But
I need to start thinking in terms of AI for just about everything now, because that's kind of the way we're going anyway.
I feel like my mom would kind of be, I'd probably name it after her because she's kind of a savant with movies and actors and stuff.
Oh,
so
she is?
I could probably show her a screenshot of something and she'd say, oh, that's Mel Gibson. This movie, this is from 1994. And he actually was married to the producer of this, whose sister went to high school with him. I don't know. She's good at knowing all the spouses of people, and I'd probably name the app Kim Shazam.
A savant?
Is that the name of someone who's just a genius with something?
Mm-hmm.
She's not an idiot savant. That's another word.
Whoa.
Is that politically correct to say?
I don't think so.
That's
I mean, I would never call my mom an idiot.
I said she's not an idiot savant. She's just a savant.
That's not what I heard. We'll have to rewind this tape and do some editing.
Ironically, I just spelled idiot wrong. Yeah, idiot savant. A person who is exceptional, who has an exceptional aptitude in one particular field, such as mathematics, music, despite having significant impairment in the other areas of intellectual or social functioning. I just had a hard time reading that sentence.
I always thought that the term idiot was a negative connotation. I never thought it was that. Of course, I never heard the complete description until now.
I think it is kind of a negative. Besides the savant part, like usually these people they might have like an autism or something, but then they are very good at, I don't know, like Rain Man or something.
Yeah.
Which the term is on Google. It's a real thing, but I feel like that's definitely a non-politically correct saying I probably shouldn't have used. Sorry,
Kim. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to do a quick couple of Would You Rathers? We're almost to an hour already.
We could use that, or we can save those for next time, if you like. It's up to you.
Let's do a couple. You had a couple I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Want to do your first one, number 5 there?
Would you rather speak in rhymes or riddles the rest of your life?
I thought about that one. I would have picked rhymes because riddles are just annoying. So if you were, Marielle said, John, what do you want for dinner?
Which we say every night.
Yeah, but then rather just saying like, I want pork chops, you'd say, it squeals in the summer, but it's, I don't know, trying to describe. Just tell me the answer. Don't make me solve this. What's black and white but red all over?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd go with rhymes.
So yeah, but rhymes become annoying too if she said,
yeah, they
what do you want for
after
dinner?
A while.
Thanks for asking, Mary Alice. I can't wait to make your dinner in this palace. I would love something nice and warm.
Mm-hmm.
Something's...
Careful.
What?
What do you mean what?
I was going to... something warm.
I know you.
Anyway, just it'd be annoying to have that person in your life too, unless they were like a good like rapper. And they
gotcha. I understand.
Rattle them off.
I understand.
Would you rather... Would you rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or a broken elevator?
Ski lift.
Yeah.
I get very claustrophobic when, I
mean, the ski lifts can be, even if it was like the first floor of an elevator or second floor or a ski lift, I would choose ski lift, even though they can be much higher up off the ground.
Right.
There's something about the unknown of where you are in the elevator, on what floor, and the fact that it could just snap and go down to the basement. And
yeah, the chicken little theory of
what's that?
There's a chicken little theory is the sky is falling, which means
what?
Which means that the elevator's going to fall.
Oh, but if you time the jump perfectly before you hit the ground, you'll be safe.
Right.
That's what they say.
And if you're on a ski lift, more than likely it's snowing.
And soft, and you can
soft, and you have a better chance
true.
of. Unless you're 10,000 feet in the air or something. But
yeah. All right. What about your number 6?
Would you rather clog a toilet the first day of work or on your first date?
That one seems easy. Well,
it does?
Well, it depends. In my current office, it's a huge building, so I could easily clog the toilet and get away with it. But where we used to work together, it would be pretty obvious if there were kind of 2 bathrooms, and each one was just a toilet, and the other one was a toilet and a urinal.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty easy to tell who did that. So I would say in that case, first date, but in my current case, I would say I'd rather clog it at work. But yeah, first date, it depends. But the girl's not going to be in the bathroom. It's not, unless it's at her house, which a first date, you wouldn't go to their house, John.
You wouldn't?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
That's just bro code. I don't know.
Really?
I mean,
You know, we're going to have to, I'm just out of curiosity, we're going to have to pull something up on that and maybe do a
just dating etiquette.
dating etiquette today and bro code.
Well, it's not really bro code, but most girls shouldn't allow a guy to their house on a first date. That's just pretty obvious.
Is that the way it goes? I don't know.
I mean,
I've been married for 53 years, so
some people might say if the date's going well, things might lead somewhere. But personally, that's off limits, especially because my mom and dad listen to this. I went to Janelle's apartment.
Well, let's talk about this in a minute.
I went to Janelle's apartment on like the third or fourth date, and we went to dinner, and she lived nearby, and we just went and hung out on her patio. And I did have an upset stomach after eating something at the restaurant, and I had to go quick enough that she didn't suspect that it was anything more than a number one.
Mm-hmm.
But she had an apartment where it was a small bathroom, and it was not too far off the living quarters. So I had to go quick, and I think later on she told me she knew that I was up to something funny in there.
All right.
But yeah, it would be embarrassing to have to come back and ask for a plunger to their bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Which you would pick?
I would
work.
Definitely pick work. You know, because they're more equipped to handle those kinds of things than your first date would. So,
all right, last one.
Okay.
Would you rather keep your current first name or change it?
You know what? I'm good with mine.
You got a good
I'm
name.
okay with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good generic name. What about you?
I don't care for mine. I don't
Really?
hate the name. I hate that it's kind of like a unisex name. So like
Really?
the number of times I get called Miss, or like of our previous episode, Miss or Ms. or Mrs. Atkinson, because people just assume the name Taylor is a female name. But growing up, on a basketball team, we had 3 or 4 Taylors one year, boys. Okay. So I think it's pretty split down the middle of boy versus girl, but especially now I guess it's a little cool now to be named Taylor with the Swiftie talk. You
know what? When I was growing up, we had some Taylors in my life too.
Really?
Lifetime, yeah. And the names, would come
first name.
And I always equated it with a male. Until Taylor Swift rolled around that she stole it from you and capitalized on it.
But
a little older than you?
A little older.
Okay.
She's
what,
33
maybe
or 34.
A year?
Yeah.
Couple years.
But yeah, I don't hate the sound of it. It's not like I've got, I don't know. One thing I think is funny now is people who, when their kids' names are like something trendy, like Brixley or Braxington.
Right.
Those weird things. And then they post a picture of like an older person. Like imagining you with one of those trendy young names. This is emphysema. Hi, my name is
you can call me E.
My name is Anesthesia.
Yeah.
So I don't hate my name, but I got your middle name, or your first name for my middle name. So I wanted to go by TJ growing up sometimes.
That's a good nickname.
But I did never do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, well,
my nickname always growing up with my family and kids, my growing up kids and all that stuff was Johnny. Everybody used to call me Johnny. So anytime I get a phone call now and someone says, Johnny, I'll know it's either a relative or someone from my past. So it's kind of a good dead giveaway.
Old Johnny be good?
Old Johnny be good.
All right. Well, if I told you this episode was at over an hour and 4 minutes, would you say cap or would you say no cap?
I'd say cap.
You think I'm lying?
That's cap. You're lying.
We're at an hour and 3 minutes and 48 seconds. So you're right. That would be cap. We're under 4 minutes.
Under 4.
Well, we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
You got places to be and
we
people
do. We got
to see.
places to go, places to be, and places to go. We're busy people.
Thanks for another fun episode. Thanks for the Jordan episode.
Jordan episode 23.
And we will catch you on the flip side.
See you next week, folks, and thanks again.
See ya.